me tell you about a friend. It's Craig LeBlanc where the good times never end. Talking Parks and Rec, it's a show you gotta know. Welcome one and all to the Daily Parks and Rec Show. It's the Daily Parks and Rec Show.
Parks and Recreation brings together people of different backgrounds, different races. Where else can you go and see these different groups of people that in the media oftentimes you see as divided? In Parks and Rec, they're united. They enjoy the time at the park. They enjoy their time in athletics or aquatics or whatever it may be. And it really is a microcosm of what we want our communities to be.
And we can build communities. That's what we're in the business of doing. We're not in the business of providing an athletic field and a sporting event. That's not what we do. Anybody can do that. We're here to provide a community.
Welcome back to the Daily Parks and Rec Show, live from NRPA Conference 2025. Today, we've got something special, an inspiring conversation with the leadership team from the Georgia Recreation and Park Association. From Henry County to Sumter County to Statesboro, these leaders are shaping the future of Parks and Rec, not just in Georgia, but across the nation. We'll dive into why Parks and Recreation isn't just a nice to have, it's essential. From building healthier communities, to keeping kids safe, to creating spaces where everyone belongs, our guests share how their work is transforming lives every single day. Plus, you'll hear firsthand how Georgia is leading the way with innovation, inclusion, and a strong vision for the future. Stick around. You won't want to miss this powerful episode celebrating the heart of Parks and Recreation. Let's dive in.
All right, we are live again. This is Craig LeBlanc with the Daily Parks and Rec Show. We have some tremendous leaders in Georgia's Parks and Rec Association that are here with us today at NRPA. So why don't we start over there on the left side with Thomas and then Tim, and then this is the former president.
Incoming.
Incoming.
Yes.
Tim's the former president. You can each introduce yourself, tell you a little bit about yourself and how the convention's going. Thomas, how's it going?
I'm Thomas White. I am a mascot. That's pretty much my only job is a mascot. I pump people up. No, I'm from Henry County, Georgia. I'm the Deputy Administrator of Recreation, and I'm having a great time at the conference. And I'm not going to lie, a lot of it's because of the Daily Parks and Rec Show.
And I'm Tim Estes. I am the Executive Director in Sumter County, Georgia, and this year get to serve as the President of the Georgia Recreation and Park Association. This is only my second national conference, even though I've been in the field 31 years, and we're having a ball. The folks in Orlando have certainly rolled out the red carpet for us.
Fantastic. And then finally on my left, I got to get everybody's name down. So I'll put, let's see, Thomas, Tim, Greg,
D.
D-E-E.
Just D-E-E?
No, D-A-D-R-I-A-N.
How do you spell it? D?
A-D-R-I-A-N.
Dadrian?
Yes.
Dadrian and Tim had no idea they were going to be on this until about 5 minutes ago.
But that's what we are in recreation. We adapt.
Exactly.
That's it. You're in the wrong profession if you're not used to not knowing what you're doing.
That's right.
on
That's
day
right.
one.
They happened to be standing next to me as we took a photo, and it just evolved from there.
Yeah. So Dadrian, you said you were you're the incoming president for Georgia's Park and Rec Association?
That's correct. My name's Dadrian Cosby. I'm the director at Bullitt County Recreation Parks in Statesboro, Georgia, Hale Southern. What great place where Georgia Southern is, and we've enjoyed this. This is my third NRPA conference, and kind of like what my brother Tim over there said, Orlando has done a fantastic job at hosting this. This facility could not be any better to host all these professionals from around the nation.
Fantastic. All right, so I'm going to play a short video that we made for the industry as a gift to the industry. We're a group of content creators. We're putting about 400 or 500 hours a week on building a media company for the Parks and Rec industry. And one of the issues that we came across was Parks and Rec departments found themselves on the chopping block during COVID because they were categorized as non-essential. So after interviewing this industry for over 750 live hours, our content creators made a video that you can play to people who think that you're non-essential, and hopefully it will start reframing this conversation. And then I'd love to get y'all's feedback about this when we come right back.
Sure.
When we talk about essential services, what comes to mind? Police, firefighters, healthcare. But there's another essential service, often overlooked, yet always present: parks and recreation. Parks and Rec is health. It's the walking trail that lowers blood pressure, the recreation center where seniors fight isolation, the swim lessons that prevent tragedy before it happens. This isn't a luxury, it's a lifeline. Parks and Rec is safety. A playground instead of a street corner, a basketball court instead of trouble, a summer camp where every child belongs. It's not just about activity, it's about protection, prevention, and possibility. Parks and Rec is community, the festival that brings neighbors together, the cultural event that teaches respect and diversity, the open space where a city breathes. It builds bridges where division once stood. It gives people a reason to gather, to connect, to care. And Parks and Rec is economics. It strengthens property values. It drives tourism through events and trails. It saves on healthcare costs. Every dollar invested multiplies, feeding back into schools, into safety, into growth. Essential service is not just about survival, it's about thriving. And Parks and Recreation is where thriving begins. In wellness, in equity, in culture, and in joy. Parks and Rec isn't extra, it's essential. For our health, for our safety, for our communities, for our future. A message from the Parks and Recreation community.
All right. So how do we do?
I'm going to have to pat you on the back for that one. That's really good.
Yeah, Craig, I'm not going to lie. That stirred some emotion in me, because that's something we fight with every day. People don't realize the role that Parks and Recreation not only plays, but that it can play if we put it as a center of our community. We have the ability to go into communities in ways that other government agencies just don't, because of the inherent mistrust of government. People come to enjoy things with Parks and Rec. They come to events. They come to watch their kids play. They come to play themselves. They know we're government, but that is not their conscious thought. Their conscious thought is enjoyment. And so that allows us to get in front of people that other government agencies can't. And that means we can play a critical role in fixing social problems that others are not able to.
Well, I can tell you for me, my first reaction was I'm ready to put a helmet and go out the tunnel and go play some ball.
There you go.
That was my first reaction. But you can ask anybody in the Bullitt County, Statesboro, Georgia area. One of my pet peeves when I hear we're not essential. And just the avenues, the directions, the pathways, the things that we can set as recreation professionals and things that we do for our communities, tangible, intangible, we're always going to be essential.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely. And I think one thing I'd like to highlight is that when it comes to preventing, you ever heard of that expression, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, but especially in healthcare, Parks and Rec is kind of the preventative side of healthcare, rather than being a reactive side, wait till the child's already sick or obese. We're able to give them an active lifestyle and connect them with their people. Maybe talk about what's the social aspect of Parks and Recreation.
Well, Craig, I know that something Dadrian and I talk about a good bit on the leadership level is the fact that Parks and Recreation brings together people of different backgrounds, different races. Where else can you go and see these different groups of people that in the media oftentimes you see as divided? In Parks and Rec, they're united. They enjoy the time at the park. They enjoy their time in athletics or aquatics or whatever it may be. And it really is a microcosm of what we want our communities to be.
Right. And we can build communities. That's what we're in the business of doing. We're not in the business of providing an athletic field and a sporting event. That's not what we do. Anybody can do that. We're here to provide a community. We build that sense of community, bring people together. So suddenly down in Bullitt County, you're not just a person living in Bullitt County, you're part of the Bullitt County community.
Correct.
Now, you may not want to celebrate Georgia Southern because I didn't know they still existed, but
Oh,
but you're still part of the Bullitt County.
Shots fired.
Right. They're still part of the Bullitt County community.
well, and for me I say this all the time. Any good functioning operational recreation department is the foundation of any community.
Right.
You start the belief, you start the pride, you start the framework of what these kids can do to play rec, no matter what sport it is, to go through middle school, to go through high school, Friday nights, ball fields, basketball courts. You start that pride, you get that build up of what we want our community to be like, and that starts at the recreation level.
Right.
And then think about what other part of government can really reach out to the marginalized, where we've got like a single mom that really can't afford either transportation or maybe can't afford these elite clubs, or we've got someone that's, aging or alone at home and is looking, to not be in isolation all the time. Talk about how Parks and Rec really can be almost all things to its community.
Well, I like the fact that we're not known as an elite group.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody of any financial status can come and participate with us, and we want it that way. We see the uptrend of travel sports, which has become a multi-billion-dollar industry, and that's not what we're after. We're after the kid, the family that needs us, and we want to provide that service to them.
Right. In Henry County, we use the hashtag where everyone belongs. And that's what we use to push out our strategic plan, our master plan rather, for the next 50 years. And it really focuses on truly creating a place where everybody belongs. I worked in the prison system for 13 years. I have seen what a reactive system does, because that's all the prison system is. So many of those guys, and I worked at the HIMAX the last few years of my career, so many of those guys were in the HIMAX because they committed a drug crime, went to prison for a couple of years, committed a crime defending themselves, and then wound up in HIMAX for the rest of their lives. And more often than not, they committed a crime. It was from the metro Atlanta area. They didn't have access to programs or anything outside of their very isolated community. And that's all they knew, because there was no proactive steps being taken to intervene there. Parks and Rec has the ability to do that. When I say that we can do things that other government agencies can't, when we can build community, when we can create those proactive programs, it's not something that I'm just saying. I have seen the other side of it. I know the positive impact that Parks and Rec can have because it had it on me. I came from a small town of a one-person department. Tim actually remembers him, Chris Peace.
I do.
Yeah. And that affected how I look at Parks and Recreation the rest of my life. So imagine what we can do if every department in the nation does that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I know earlier this year we had our annual budget retreat. And one of the things I said was, yes, I'm fighting for our budget, our department's budget. But I told them, I said, you take fire, you take EMS, you take your law enforcement. Those people are when they need an emergency, that's when those taxpayers, that's when those citizens get to touch them. Is an emergency situation, or if they're doing some community event. But with recreation, we can touch our whole community 100% of the time if you're an active organization.
Every day. And I think you just nailed it, an active organization. And that's where we're in a situation where we have to reframe Parks and Rec as a field. We have got so many departments that have been told for decades that they are not essential. We have departments that they know when budget cuts happen, they're going to be the ones to cut first. We have to redefine that narrative, not just with us, not just in Georgia, but in the field as a whole. And that requires everyone to buy in. That's why organizations like GRPA and NRPA are so critical to that professional development. Because Tim, Dadrian, how many places have you been, small counties throughout Georgia, or even counties that are so large that their people working in them don't feel connected? How many places have you been like that?
Been to countless places like that. And Craig, one of the things I wanted to say about your video when you think of essential and non-essential, most of the time that means financially. One of the positives that came out of the whole COVID pandemic, I feel like, is governments really found out that parks and recreation is essential.
Right.
We had so many people out in the parks spending time outdoors as a family, and that was very evident. We were one of the few positives during that time, and I think it's made in their minds we're even more essential now.
Correct.
And we were able to play critical roles such as locations to give away food, locations for testing sites, for immunization sites. We were able to do that. I think it really redefined for a lot of people how they look at or rather change their perspective of how they look at parks and recreation, because they saw us as a way to deal with a social problem.
Yeah.
Well, then also we were able to provide any of those situations where we can have social distancing and be able to outside to, as we all have our mission statement, to lead that active, healthy lifestyle. So we were able to provide those services during that time as well.
You know, I'm sorry, Craig.
Well, I was going to say, so anything unique about Georgia's Park and Rec Association? I know this is kind of the leadership team here with it. So, and y'all's convention is coming up, what, in November, second week of November?
That's
Is that correct?
first week of November.
First week of November.
Yeah, I'm the low man on the totem pole. I'm the newest Board of Trustees member, so I'm going to defer to them, other than to say Georgia is great. We're better than every other association out there, and we'll fight y'all all on it.
I love it.
Tim, Dadrian.
Yeah, it's been a great year for me as president. I've had a chance to go all over the state, and there really are differences between your North Georgia agencies and your South Georgia agencies. Of course, Metro is a whole different ball of wax, but the fact is all of us, regardless of where our focus is within Parks and Rec, all of us are providing an essential service and doing it well. Georgia's going to have 600, 650 maybe at our conference at Jekyll Island. And we look forward to that every year, getting together. And, you know, networking to me, Dadrian, is probably my favorite part of these conferences. Yes, we get to go to educational sessions. We get to learn from some really good professionals. But sitting in the lobby of a hotel or at a social event at night is where I learn more than I do in the sessions.
Yeah, you can sit there and as we say, who's going to tell the best lie?
Right.
Or what parent did what, or what kid did what. But, this year in 2025, obviously Tim was our president, and Tim did a fantastic job from day one of setting the tone of what 2025 was going to be like. And we had our Board of Trustees meetings last week. And I said, with me coming in 2026, how we finished 25, I want us to carry through in 2026. And we have some pretty huge things that we'll be rolling out with some. We just completed a needs assessment road mapping situation where we're going to be doing our core curriculum where people can be able to get CEUs. Those things are going to start at our conference this year and truly roll out in 26. So we're going to be providing a lot of opportunities for our professionals to get that extra learning, that extra little in order for you to be successful and take things back to the communities and do what they can.
Honestly, GRPA is the reason that I have risen as fast as I have in Parks and Rec. I've only been in the career 4 years, and it's the reason that, I mean, other than my charm and stunningly good looks, other than that.
That last one is what really got you there.
Right. It's humility.
Right. My humility, really. But other than that, no, seriously, GRPA allowed me to form connections and to find role models right away, because my second month there with Parks and Rec, I was in Newton County at a district meeting and got involved right away from it. Ran for secretary a month later of my district just because they were so open-armed and bringing people in. And it's been a great experience because we create a family. I know people overuse the term family, but really I can call anybody in GRPA, whether I've met them or not, and ask them for advice for something or ask them to borrow something, and the answer is going to be yes. There's no doubt about it.
There really is a great family. Any closing remarks before we kind of sign off and send y'all back to work over there networking?
Hey, we're looking forward to wrapping this conference up and then heading to Jekyll Island in a few weeks. I want to thank you for having us. We've seen you on the internet several times, and you and I have connected before. Glad we could finally get on here. And I want to encourage all of our parks and recreation professionals that see this make sure and share this with your Parks and Rec friends. Let's really build this community. This show, it's going to bring a lot of awareness to our industry.
100%.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you,
I
Craig.
can't give a better closing than my brother Tim right there. That he hit the nail on the head.
Fantastic. Well, thank y'all so much for coming on the show today, and thank y'all for y'all's leadership in Parks and Rec, especially with Georgia. And for those of you that don't know, we will be doing everything we're doing here at NRPA. We're going to do in Georgia, but we're going to take it up a whole nother level. We've actually got Cobb County is dedicating their marketing girl is going to come. Her name is Victoria. No, I think it starts with a V. I know that. But anyway, so we'll have a couple of people actually helping us, and we're going to do a great job for Georgia. And we really want to thank the state of Georgia for rolling out the red carpet for the Daily Parks and Rec show. But thank you guys for coming on today. Y'all have a
Sounds
great
good.
convention.
Thank you.
All right.
At DPR's Media Co., we believe Parks and Recreation isn't just a service, it's the heartbeat of our communities. We exist to honor the people, the vendors, and the leaders shaping the future of Parks and Rec. Our mission is simple: to tell their stories, highlight their careers, and celebrate their essential work. Our vision is bold: to be the trusted hub where leaders, vendors, and communities unite, inspiring innovation, sharing wisdom, and building a stronger, healthier nation. Through over 220 live shows and 6 weekly series, the Leadership Series, Facility Maintenance, Young Professionals Network, Youth Sports Mastery, The Rec Room, and Growing Leaders, plus our industry-leading newsletter, the weekly Parks and Rec Post, we're building a media platform made for the Parks and Rec community. And now, we're inviting strategic partners to co-create this story with us. As a partner, you'll gain 12 hours of annual live exposure with custom shows highlighting your expertise, polished 60-second promos refined for maximum impact, year-round visibility with dozens of replays across our media network, premium features in our newsletter, and amplified social media reach across LinkedIn, X, and Facebook. This is your chance to educate, inspire, and lead while connecting directly with the professionals who build, budget, and buy for their communities. This is DPRS Media Co. Let's build the future of Parks and Rec together.